Hey everyone, Scott here with Forever Armed. Today I want to talk about optimizing your pistol for fighting. And when I say optimized for fighting, I'm also talking about optimized for stress. Okay, so let's take a look at a few things here. This is my Glock 19 that I carry with me every day. The reason I've chosen to carry a Glock is for a few reasons. Number one, Glocks have a track record of high reliability. Alright, I've shot thousands of rounds through this particular pistol without a single malfunction. And in my opinion, that's what high reliability looks like. Secondly, accessories. 99 out of 100 times, a manufacturer out there that makes accessories for pistols is going to make their accessories for Glock. If you're carrying around some obscure name brand pistol, there's a good chance that you're not going to be able to have as many options and accessories to choose from as someone who's carrying around a more well-known brand pistol such as Glock. And lastly, I like the simplicity of this gun. Once I insert a magazine, run the slide, this gun is immediately ready for fighting. Okay, I put my finger on the trigger and press it. There's no other bells or whistles or levers or buttons or other gadgets that I need to manipulate to make this gun go bang. Okay, insert a magazine, run the slide, and it's ready immediately. Okay, and I like that simplicity. When you're under the effects of stress and adrenaline, you want things to be as simple as possible. Okay, now is the Glock perfect? No, it is not. One thing I don't like about Glock are the standard plastic notch and post sights that come with them. I replace those with XS big dot sights. First of all, plastic sights can break off easily, especially if you're doing like one-handed gun manipulations where you're running the slide off your belt, or you're using the rear sight to catch on your belt to run that slide. The rear sights can bust off quite easily when you're doing that. So I use XS big dot sights. As you can see here, there's a big white dot for the front sight, and then the rear sight has this this shallow V here. These sights are designed for self-defense. They are designed for fighting. They are not designed for competition shooting or long-range shooting. Can you shoot a target with these at 100 yards? Of course you can, but that's not what they are designed for. They are designed for fighting. They are designed for stress. They're designed for your standard pistol ranges, self-defense ranges. So let's take a look at why these sights are optimized for fighting. Number one, what can happen a lot of times with your standard notch and post sights is you get your gun out there and your front post sight is hidden behind the rear notch sight. So you have to acquire that front sight first. Okay. Once you've acquired the front sight on your standard notch and post sights, then you need to get that front post and the rear sight, the top of the sights, level with each other. All right, and then you need to line up that front post dead center in that notch. So there's really three things you have to do while under stress with notch and post sights. Whereas with the XS big dot sights, there's basically just one thing you have to do, and that's just line that dot up, line that big dot up right there in the shallow V of this rear sight. Okay, that's all you have to do. Because of the shape of these sights, you don't really have to ever worry about this front sight being lost behind the rear sight. It just doesn't happen. Okay, and as far as lining it up, again, it's just a matter of dropping this big white ball right down in the center of this shallow V of this rear sight, and that's it. So you've really got like one thing that you need to do with the XS big dot sights to get them lined up, and that is why these sights are optimized for stress and for fighting. And like I said, they are made of steel, so they will not break off either. Another thing that I've done here is I've replaced the standard base plate of my magazines here with this base plate that has this lip that extends out here. These are from a company called Gap Enterprises, and I'll show you an example of what a standard Glock magazine looks like in comparison. You can see there's a lip that extends out right here in the front. The reason I've replaced that base plate is so, again, if I'm doing one-handed gun manipulations for some reason, say I have an injury to my hand and I need to rip this magazine out somehow, I have an option to take that and put that under my belt and rip that magazine out. Get that lip underneath my belt and rip that magazine out like that. So, there's other options to get a magazine out as well one-handed, but I wanted that to be an additional option I have if need be to rip that magazine out, and that's with having that lip right there. Weapons mounted light. I'm new to carrying a weapons mounted light on this pistol. In the past I've always relied on a handheld light. One thing, if you're carrying a pistol with you every single day for self-defense, you need to have a light of some sort, either a weapons mounted light or a handheld light. If you do have a weapons mounted light though, you definitely need to carry a handheld light as well. I carry a Surefire handheld light. If I need to do any sort of utility use with this light, I'm not going to draw out my pistol and start using that as my light to look for something. Okay, that's not what you're going to do. You should also carry an additional handheld light to do your utility work with. All right. Now, stippling. Some people will stipple their guns to get better traction, better grip on them. I personally haven't had a need to do that. I don't believe you should stipple your guns unless you really need to. It seems like there's a trend these days where everyone is stippling their guns, and I just think it's unnecessary. Should I feel the need in the future, I'll surely look at stippling my gun, but for now I haven't had a need for that. So that's pretty much it. One thing I want to mention is I'm showing you this as just an example of a way to optimize your pistol for fighting and for stress. This is not the best way. This is not the only way. This is just a way. This is just an example. I'm just showing you an example of what I do to optimize my pistol for fighting. The point of this video is to open your eyes to this idea of optimizing your pistol for fighting and for stress. So you should take a long, hard look at the pistol you carry with you every day and ask yourself, is it highly reliable? Is it easy to find accessories for my pistol? Is my pistol easy to use under stress? Okay. Is everything else optimized on the gun for fighting and for stress? All right. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe to my channel. This is Scott with Forever Armed, reminding you to be ready for the moment. You must train for the moment.